Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Let's talk about how to use your mind to get what you want. So your mind is the instrument by which you navigate this world, right? Every thought that you have, every emotion that you feel, everything you see in your current reality is a direct reflection of how you think about what you see. So if we're talking about money, if we're talking about wealth, if we're talking about financial stability and abundance, right? You could probably look at most people, at the average person who struggles with money, and I guarantee you, if you sat down with them for a little bit and started questioning their belief system, you started questioning their mind, how they think about things, you would probably soon realize that they are exactly where they are with their finances and their current life because of the exact ways in which they think about how they handle money, how they think about their life, how they think about retirement, politics, investing, so many different things, right? So if you're struggling right now, just look at yourself, right? Because a lot of times when we struggle, when we are, maybe not struggle, I don't want to use the word struggle, but maybe when we're not exactly where we want to be, or we don't have the exact outcome that we want, we start to project outwards, right? Your mind is very tricky, right? Because your ego the ego has a very difficult time taking direct responsibility, and it also has a very tough time introspecting, right? Because let's be honest, right? It's uncomfortable to question yourself and how you think and how you handle your life, right? Because when you actually look at how you operate, how you think, how you behave, and they're not in alignment with what is actually true and how you can actually attain the success and results that you want, you find it uncomfortable when you start to question yourself, because it's like, damn, it's kind of ugly. It's like, damn, that is my fault. Damn, that is my fault, right? And when you know that you have to take full accountability for what you have in your life, that's very scary, because now you have to you understand that, wait, my life and the way it is right now is not a reflection of things happening outside of myself. It's a direct reflection of what is happening inside of myself, right? And I'm not gonna sit here and say that you should be a positive thinker and always, you have to be positive all the time. Your mind is always going to, if you're not conscious of where your mind is at each moment, your mind is always going to drift all into so many different things, right? Things you've heard in the past, things you've heard from coworkers, from colleagues, things you've heard from people online that maybe you didn't really want to hear, things that you didn't want to hear about that you heard. So your mindset is fixated on everything you've heard up until this point in your life, right? Even from all the way back when you were a kid, right? So as it pertains to poverty, as it pertains to lack, as it pertains to being broke, right? You're in that position, right? Because of all of the things you've seen so far in your life, right? And that's why, the internet is a blessing, because I'll be honest, if it wasn't for the internet, I don't think there's one person in my life over the past 25 years that I've met that has actually taught what I've learned through people like books and resources and podcasts. Like, it sucks that there's just not a lot of people in life that have this understanding, right? In our physical reality, that have this understanding. But luckily we do have the internet. And again, the internet isn't as good as a real person, because you can't, be friends. You can be friends with people online, but it's not the same as having, someone in your personal life directing where you go. So, but anyways, your thoughts and everything you think about, let's talk about how to direct them so that you can get what you want, right? And have the outcome that you would like to see in your life. So guys, if you're wanting financial freedom, if you're wanting a large sum of money, right, and you're wanting it consistently and you want it abundantly so that you never have to work again, that's what everyone really wants, right? If you want that, then you're gonna have to consciously think every single day about what you want and hold to it every single day, right? And you know, I've been thinking about this because I've analyzed my thoughts over the past 6 months, right? Over the past year. And I'm going to be honest, I haven't been perfect in holding to my vision and holding to what I truly want, right? And when I look at my thinking, right, I'll use myself and I'll be a little vulnerable here, right? There's a lot of things that I want, right? There's a lot of things that maybe I think I want, right? Like I want it to be like there's a part of me that wants to be like a store manager, right? And move up in the corporate world. But like then I'm like, wait a second. Does that sound good in 5 years, right? And I asked myself, does that sound good in 5 years? And what I found was the answer was no. Right? And so immediately, right, if I look at how I think about that, right, and then what I really want, which is financial freedom, which is to help people become financially free, which is to help people become healthy, to be happy, to change their thinking so that they change their lives, right, then I have to direct my energy, my thoughts, and everything, well, not everything, but most of my time and energy into making that a reality, right? If I think about constantly moving up in, you know, the company I'm in, or if I constantly think about, you know, how to be better at my job, which is, again, it's not a bad thing to be good at where you're at. But if I'm too fixated on that, that's taking energy, that's taking attention away from becoming what I actually want. That's going to be something that serves me well into my later years, right? And I'm using myself as an example here, but you guys can analyze the same thing. Like if your energy and your attention and your thoughts are diverted and you're thinking about too many different things, right, then your energy's all over the place, right? And there's a saying that energy flows where I think it's energy flows where attention goes, right? So if your attention is focused on something that you don't want, then that's taking energy away from the thing you probably do want, but you're not putting the thought, you're not impressing that thought upon your reality, upon your mind. And you're not constantly you're not constantly getting, you know, bringing that back up in your mind. You're not repeating that, right? And again, this is boring, right? Because it's hard to it's hard to think, right? Thinking is one of the hardest things to do, right? And a lot of times when we think too much, we call it overthinking, right? We call it, you know, we don't like to think because it takes energy to think, right? When you think about, let's talk about thought for a second and why so many people have a tough time with thinking. Thinking takes up a lot of energy, and you can see why people have a problem with it because of their addictions, of their bad habits, of how they distract themselves. Think of all the things you do that distract yourself, just like me, right? Whether it was porn, whether it was video games, whether it was drugs, whether it was TV, right? All of that, right? There's no problem with enjoyment, right? But again, when those things take up a large sum of time, you're taking energy away from manifesting your reality. You're taking energy away from bringing your material wants into existence. So the problem is that, you know, we all want financial freedom. We all want a lot of money. We all want success. We all want inner peace. We all want good health. But the problem is that it takes immense energy to think about those things and act upon and act in ways that make those a reality of who you are. So the problem is that your thinking is skewed most of the time, right? And this is not, you know, a lot of people will shit on law of attraction, will try to shit on positive thinking, or try to shit on like manifestation and say it's woo-woo, but I mean, I'll be honest, like a lot of the thinking that the position I'm in, where I'm at, is because of what I'm teaching you guys right now, right? I've thought about so many of the things that I'm bringing to you guys right now that it's just who I am at this point, right? I started learning about self-development and finance and budgeting and investing and optimal health at a very young age, right? At like 16, I got into this kind of field, I guess. And as a result, I'm directly where I'm at because of how I think about certain things, right? And I'm nowhere near I would like to be, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't exempt the fact that you are where you are because of how your mind works on a constant basis, right? So again, it's not to sit here and say that positive thinking is going to give you, or thinking about what you want constantly is going to give it to you right away, right? But you can ensure that you'll get what you want by thinking about the things every single day. Because if you think about what you want every day, the actions you take which lead to the results are going to be in exact concordance to that. So if you're thinking about things you don't want, well then by default, you're probably not taking any action. The people that think about what they don't want, which is most people, because most people that struggle financially or don't have a lot of money, they're always thinking about what they don't want, right? And think about it. When you think about what you don't want, that sounds like it's regression, de-evolution. That's going backwards, right? So when you think about what you want, what does that do? That creates feeling, that creates emotion. And when that feeling and emotion is stirred up, right, in a positive way that you know is going to lead to growth, that's where the action comes from. So if you're struggling to take action as well, right, like you're like, okay, like I'm thinking about what I want, I'm thinking about what the money I'd like to make, the career I'd like to get, right, or the business I'd like to have, the relationship I'd like to have. Now it's all about taking finding out which actions you need to take every single day and then doing that, and just it's so boring. Like I'm speaking out about it and you might get excited about what I'm talking about, but in reality it's very simple and it's very boring, but it's effective, right? And this is how you have to operate day in and day out, right? This is how successful people operate day in and day out. So what you want as well, I'll end out with this because this is very important. What you want right now, if you're young, might not be actually what you want, right? So I think we can all safely say we want to be financially free. We all want a large sum of money, but how you're going to get there might change as you go. So if right now you are unsure of what you want to do for a career, right, it's okay as long as you're taking action and progress, right? Because if, like I said in one of my previous videos, as long as you're acting in a way that's great, that's in concordance with greatness and abundance right now in wherever you are, that'll eventually spring over into something else. And then if that thing that you get into still isn't what you want, that you're eventually going to, you get what I'm trying to say? You're springing into what you want eventually. All of your experiences are just things that you will use to share, right, with people or colleagues or your community that will help you to advance and continue to go to where you want to go, right, and bring the results, the money, the abundance, the lifestyle that you desire and want. So again, I'm not trying to act all woo here, and some of you guys might think law of attraction is bullshit. I don't know, but what I can absolutely say is that if for sure, if you think about what you want, right, and you take action based off of that, right, simply over time, right, day in and day out, you create a plan and you stick to it. Even if the plan eventually changes or what you want changes, you'll eventually get to where you want to get to at that stage in your life, right? And again, it's ever changing. So this isn't something you just do and then you stop, right? This is how to operate till you're basically dead, right? Because we are creators, right? So yeah, guys, I hope this video has helped you. If this video has helped you, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. If you guys have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them down below. And as always, I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.